Hey guys, it's HelpingHans here. Today I'm going to be going over a battle group that I think should be added to Company Heroes 3, and it's going to be the Italian Resistance battle group for the Americans. We already know there's some Italian units in the game, and you play with them during the campaign, and it makes sense that they should be added into their own battle group, basically. There's a lot of other units and abilities that are out there in Company Heroes history from Co 2 and Co 3, which would 100% fit in for a nice Italian Resistance style battle group. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And here is my kind of flowchart, kind of like system here. And none of these are final. And this is what we're going to be discussing today amongst my chat. And yeah, getting your guys' feedback and ideas on what you guys would think. So here's some abilities. We haven't kind of like 100% set where they're going to go yet, but this is what I'm thinking. So you start off with just the standard core Italian resistance unit, which is these guys. Okay. Now these Parsons can be upgraded with Bredder machine guns, Bredder Model 30 light machine guns, or Panzerschreck, so CQC, mid-range, and anti-tank weaponry. So they would be, your early kind of cooling unit. You'd also be able to call them like you would normally with Parsons and Company Heroes 2, and that would be being able to spawn them straight into like ambient buildings around the map. However, they would come at a 1 command point cost, so you couldn't do it straight away. You'd also get access to Radio Intercept. This is something that isn't in Company Heroes 3, but was a popular Company of Heroes 2 ability on quite a few commanders, which is very strong, giving you the knowledge about what units your opponents were building at any one time. And great, from 1v1 all the way up to 44 in team games. And that usually was at 0 command points. And I can move this elsewhere. Maybe this is kind of like an ability which make more sense in the Parsons tactic tree. So maybe we'll move it over to the right-hand side here for the moment. I feel like, yeah, you'd probably start off with Partisan Forces, maybe as the core unit, which you then would split into essentially the demolition team or the sniper team. So let's look at the snipers. Now, the sniper team has the option to upgrade to a AT rifle, which gives it the ability to use tungsten rounds. That would set itself apart from the standard sniper for the Americans. Whether they come as a double team is up for debate. They could just be a single Italian resistance fighter partisan instead, sniper team. But right now they're a two-man squad. And yeah, this guy, so they have the AT rifle upgrade, which allows them to penetrate vehicles and stuns them for a short period of time. Right now it says the stuns on vehicle penetration for 10 seconds. That's pretty kind of insane, 10 seconds. That probably will obviously need a massive nerf, but it's kind of pretty interesting how this unit could be a different kind of type of sniper unit compared to the standard sniper. This guy just has the ability to stealth reconnaissance, so he doesn't require cover to camouflage, and also the med kit's the other option here. Now these guys, I think it'd be nice, to have these guys have like maybe a little AT counter capability, a bit more survivability because they're a two-man squad, and I think you can also make them and just keep them as standard, and they will have the ability to have a suppressing volley instead. So you don't have to upgrade them to the AT variant. Now Parsons, they need this building, which is the safe house. It looks exactly like the barracks. So I'm thinking when it comes to the Italian Partisan commander itself, and you select them, the barracks just becomes, you get these 3 units added into the barracks. And then you'd still need to maybe upgrade the stolen weapons option from your barracks so that these guys could get all these nice upgrades. And that currently costs 100 manpower and 20 fuel. Once you get stolen weapons, you unlock the ability to get a Panzerschreck on these guys. And also these guys will have the access to the grenade launcher as well, which is the Saboteur squad. So I think there's definitely, an instance here where it makes sense to have a separate sniper team compared to just your standard sniper. So I think this makes sense. So you can have like a specialized marksman team, or the other option is to get the Saboteur squad. Now this is a 4-man team, which you could also spawn in like you would do the normal resistance squad. These guys would be more specialized because they could get SDGs, which makes them very good at CQC, or they could get the grenade launcher. They also have the ability to lob an anti-tank satchel charge or a explosive demolition charge as well, which is pretty cool. And I can see this working very well with, if you went for the infantry support center just in general, the infantry support center gives you buffs for infantry, like reducing reinforcement costs and increasing their health. And this would also apply to all your partisans as well, which would be pretty damn nice. So I think, yeah, it would be nice to have a choice. I think it makes sense to either choose between the Partisan sniper team or the demolitions team. I mean, you do get the AT variant. You know, these guys have, you know, you could specialize these with a Shrek and they lob AT grenades, but these guys, you know, they have the anti-tank satchel charge instead, and they could put demo charges down, which is quite nice as well. So I think that makes sense. I think I'm kind of happy with this. For going on to the next unit over here, I'm wondering what we want to choose for maybe a vehicle for the Italian forces. Now, it was known, chat, that the Italian Partisans resistance fighters did get their hands on some stolen armor, so we could give them potentially the ability to call on Caro tanks, so they could have maybe a light Caro tank call in. You know, up for debate is something that they could have. Maybe we could throw the Semovente in there as well. I don't know how often they had, you know, were able to steal Semoventes, but it could be an option there. Or instead of giving them a tank, guys, we could decide to choose them to get other type of weapons. They could specialize. Maybe we could throw in this option over here. So, or these two abilities could go on the right. Now, these abilities I've just slotted in here are German weaponry or American weaponry. So, I mean, already they, you know, by default they already have some Italian weaponry and Shreks as well as STGs. So I don't think this kind of really makes too much sense. Maybe giving them the flamethrower ability, maybe a combination of a flamethrower and maybe a flare would make sense. Something like that combined could be a thing. I also like the idea of including the pillage ability back here that DAC have, so that they can, any kind of destroyed vehicles, they can salvage it and they would get themselves a cool weapon. A pillage ability 100% makes sense for Partisans. So I kind of want to maybe add this in here somewhere, so that they could increase their weapons. Because if we look at these guys at the moment, they only get one Shrek. I'm actually curious, do they have a second weapon slot? I mean, Reddit can always give them a second weapon slot if they don't have one, but as standard, do they have one? Let's throw a bazooka on the ground. Yep, they can pick up a second weapon, which is pretty good. So I think, yeah, giving them a pillage ability so they can get a second weapon from the ground. These guys start with some breaders, a couple of breaders, mostly rifles though. And these guys get 2 machine guns. It's pretty strong. And these guys get 2 SDGs. But I can see, yeah, giving them pillage would be a really nice idea. So, but I think that might be better under Partisan tactics. Let's move this pillage over to the right. Okay, on the Co3 database here for the espionage battlegroup for the deck, it's either a choice between plunder or transfer depots. I think it'd be a good idea to have the choice between plunder or advanced camouflage. I think that would make sense. That advanced camouflage is over here, so this would give first strike, ambush accuracy, and bonus on squads. Or you get advanced ambush training. It gives you the ability to spend munitions to upgrade camouflage on your partisans. And they would also benefit from this. I think that would be a good idea. Do we want... I'm just thinking, what do we want, guys? I feel like I really want to include radio intercept instead of the beacons. I think, yeah, let's move the beacons. I think let's give them... What would be do we want radio intercept straight off the bat? I think radio intercept traditionally has been free, and you unlock it straight away, which is very, very strong. I think that's fine, because you're locking yourself into kind of like a specialist gameplay session here when you go for this commander. So I'm thinking we go maybe 0 command points. So you get radio intercepts straight away. Command point. Then you choose between either plunder or advanced camouflage. And then I think, yeah, weapon drops or spy network. It seems like they automatically get pillage anyway when you go for partisans. Because if you go for partisans and you get your barracks like gets converted into almost like a safe house, you get pillage here as well. But I think having pillage on top of that is very strong. Maybe a choice between stolen weapons and pillage could be an option. Maybe a beacon that can draw in weapon drops like the SBTs from... Ooh, that sounds like a good idea, Oliver. I like that idea, yes. So the Airborne Squad in Company Curious 2 had the ability to call in different weapons, and those weapons can be picked up by your allies, not just yourself. That could be too strong, though, because of that. I don't think Axis have anything like that. Imagine if you were able to drop LMGs and Shreks on the ground, and you could kit out your standard Grens for Wehrmacht, like Pretty crazy. Be hard to balance. I'd like to see something like that because it would encourage more kind of like, you know, teamwork and things like that. Maybe I feel like I need to put something else on Partisan forces. I think the Caro should be over here. Maybe the choice between a Caro and a Sim. The Sim event is normally earlier on in the tech tree. If you look at the Africa over here, and in armor, yeah, you get the Sim event straight away. Then into the Caro. It's 3 command points. Caro's 1. Still make it work. Well, if we look at this, this is 1 command point. Yeah, I mean, that it still makes sense maybe to get the Caro, the Sim event in the Caro over here. So maybe I could throw this over here as well. So normally it's the Sim event comes at 3 command points. So we could make maybe make the Sim event 2 command points and the Caro 3. Caros normally take 4 command points to come out. Or maybe 2 each. Lacking off-map or RT as usual. Need radio for US British supportability. Yeah, yeah. There's no off-map here actually at the moment. Additionally, if we look at the go to commanders here, look at Soviets. The commander itself, Partisan Tactics, does not have any off-map. Now, with Americans could go Air Support Center instead of going for Infantry Support Center for their off-maps if they fancy it. And I don't think not every commander needs an off-map. Need something to waste munitions on? Well, they've got the air supply redrop. That will cost munitions. Also, Spy Network costs munitions to use as well. You've also got to be thinking every time, you know, the Partisan squads, they require munitions to upgrade their weaponry. I also like the idea of maybe giving the demolition team the ability to plant mines. I think that would be a good idea as well as another addition to make them a bit more nice. The Italian resistance fighters historically were known for obviously causing disruption, sabotaging supply lines and things like that, and we haven't really got anything in the battle group at the moment that does that. I kind of want to like include this ability, which is allows you, similar to the Company Heroes 2 ability, where you drop a Stuka dive bomb on a strategic point. It neutralizes the point, and I think they had to repair the point, and then they were able to recap it. Now I think that could be a cool thing for the Partisans to be able to do. Maybe give them that kind of ability somewhere in this. Maybe we get rid of the beacons. I mean, it's only 3 lines as well. You don't have any more than that, so that we've already kind of got this. So we can't really include any more abilities. So it's a toss-up between these 3 abilities here that we want to include, I think, for me personally. Booby trapping, maybe not. Maybe we could do some kind of combination here. Maybe it might make the commander too strong, but we could technically... You could combine abilities. You could have you'll call maybe make up a new ability called I don't know spy tactics or something like that, where you get spy network and you get the ability to take out sectors and stuff as well. So guys, I just want to give you a quick refresher about what Spy Network was in Company Heroes 2. So for 50 munitions, you could activate Spy Network, and what that would do, it would allow you to see enemy units through the fog of war on your minimap and your tactical map. As you can see here, there are some snipers, there's a mortar team and a tank. It'll actually tell you what type of vehicle it is and what kind of things are over there. But it only lasts for 15 seconds. So if I now remove the fog of war, and you can see it, you can see all these guys here. We'll activate it once again. And it will still reveal the enemies. There's 2 enemy snipers here. And still activating it will still reveal their exact location, even if they're hidden by camouflage. So it's a pretty nice ability which reveals every single enemy unit on the map, basically for 15 seconds, which is quite handy. DC-33 with a flamethrower? What's that? I'm actually not familiar with that. Let me look that up. This could have, like, I think you can equip this with an anti-tank rifle or just be machine gun, or it looks like there's a flamethrower variant here, which I didn't even realise. That could be kind of cool, but this feels like it's more earlier on in the tech tree, because it's such a light vehicle, we get killed very quickly. I mean, you've already got Mark Target from the Major, so you don't need that. Let's get rid of Mark Target. You've got it from Major, potentially, so you don't really need that. So let's get rid of that. Let's try and... I don't think we need any of these. Let's get rid of these as well. They won't worry about these. I think, yeah, I think normally they get the pillage here from the barracks, but I think we remove the pillage because it's just too good. Enemy infantry, every time you just kill it, yeah, that's just a global thing constantly happening. That would make it too strong, I think, for this commander. So in summary, for partisan forces, we have for one command point the Italian resistance fighters, the standard partisans. Then we have the marksman team for one command point, or the saboteurs for one command point, the caro for 2 command points, or the semovente for 2 command points. Then for partisan tactics, you can instantly also unlock radio intercept, and then you can then choose between plunder or advanced camouflage. And then you've got weapon supply drop, which will give you the American anti-tank gun and machine gun, like it normally does on one of the American commanders that has this, and also spy network from Company of Heroes 2. What do you guys think of this commander? Do you think it's too strong, too weak? I think overall I think this is pretty decent, but I kind of personally feel like I would like to maybe change the tanks around. But something we haven't seen before, but I don't know what would be appropriate for the in this kind of regard. However, I wanted to make a video for you guys regardless, because I think it's kind of a fun thing to do, to try and come up with cool battle groups. And I'm bored, to be honest. I think we're all kind of getting a bit bored because it's taken Relic such a long time to bring out new battle groups. The rate they're doing it's supposed to be 2 battle groups per year. And, if you compare that to the same time frame with Company Heroes 2, and that and the release cycle of their commanders, we were getting many, many, many more than that, every year. And I do appreciate that the battle groups are you're kind of getting like 2 commanders in one, because they're kind of quite in depth compared to the old Company Heroes 2 commanders, but still only getting 2 battle groups per faction every year is just not enough. And yeah, I'm hoping, if we reuse a couple of abilities and stuff, I think most people would be fine with that. KO2 ended up reusing quite a few abilities and slotting them in different commanders, but it makes things fresh, and you could do different things with different commanders, different battle groups. So yeah, I'd really like to see, more commanders, more battle groups for Company Heroes 3, and I hope you like this video. And if you'd like to see me make more on, maybe some other future battle groups you'd like to see, come up with some ideas, then please do let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Take care.